Welcome to Behind the Scenes of Zero, the Untold Story of Timothy. Starring me!
In this video, I will be explaining some of my model making techniques and my filming techniques used in Zero, the Untold Story of Timothy. I will also be including some behind the scenes footage of a video that never happened. It's quite a long video, but enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to the Behind the Scenes of Zero, the Untold Story of Timothy. And in this little behind the scenes video, I'm gonna be showing you how I turned this train, Thomas, into our hero engine, Timothy. There's going to be a lot of work to be done. First of all, I gotta cut off this little truck that's attached to him, and then just gut him after that, and then do a little bit of cosmetic touches to him as well, such as shortening this cab, increasing the side tanks, and the big thing I'm going to be doing also with him, is cutting him, giving Thomas a little bit of a diet. I'm going to cut him from front to back on one side of his coupling here, and on the other side of that coupling there, take away what I need. So once I have him on his little base, he's going to be just wide enough to look close to a Hornby or Bachmann type, but not fat like this. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen Leo video about Trackmaster, little Trackmaster review he did about how your OO gauge or HO trains can run on the new snap track from Trackmaster, or at least on the inner rail. But these are pretty fat, so Thomas is gonna go on a diet right after I've gutted him out. Now I bet you're wondering, how am I going to open Thomas up? Well, with this specially designed screwdriver. It used to be a flathead screwdriver, but I did some grinding, got a little triangle there. So now, machine bolts put in the manufacturing process, you are not my enemy anymore, and your world opens up now. And actually, before I continue on any further, I want you all to know that this is not a working Thomas. I bought him as a non-working model, intentionally, for the sole purpose of using him as a scrap model, or on the basis of another engine. So don't worry, this Thomas doesn't work anymore. Or he is a complete corpse, but a corpse with potential. Okay, we're just about to undo this last screw on the bottom of Thomas. We're going to see what the insides of this little blue engine really look like. And some weights there under this first little frame I've lifted away. That's why he's so weighty. And there you go, he just left a lot of weight. This pod is still attached, so I guess I'm going to have to disassemble him even further. And in fact, actually, I've taken all the screws out. So why wait when we can start? Oops, or not. Sneaky little Phillips heads. Oh, brother. Okay, after some screws have been removed, here we have our little blue hero's top half. We'll just set him over there for now. And let's actually take a look at this base here. Oh yes, there was a button here. Here, I don't know how this train used to work, so if anyone can tell me what this model of Thomas used to do with the, the push down section here on his boiler, I'd love to hear about it. Well, here's a little post-surgery. There's Thomas's motor and his weights. Here's his wheels. There's the shell of our little hero. And over there is the little sound box and all that other stuff that was in that very nicely little detailed car over there. Here. And that'll actually probably become part of another project. Maybe it'll be a dummy unit or a powered unit for non-powered vehicles. It's yet to be decided. But right now, our priority is Thomas. Okay, we'll come in and do a little bit of post-surgery walkthrough. As you'll see right here, I've ground away all that plastic that was on the bottom footplate here. So now we have a nice clean space to work with. And here on the surface you'll see the not so good covered line where I cut Thomas's cab down to size, and the white styrene that now fills in that void of the space. Mind you, this will be actually filled in later with green putty, sanded down, and then painted again. So not to worry about the lines, those will disappear. And as you also notice, I got the windows drilled out. You'll probably be able to tell better from this angle. I'm not really sure. Anyways, that's the current work. Next project is to cut Thomas down to size, give him a diet. Alright, so yeah. Now I bet you're all wondering, how am I going to power this model? Well, it's going to be done with this. This is a wheelbase that I took out of a Hornby E2 model. The motor was in there, but it doesn't work. All of its wiring was stripped out. And I've tried to repair it since then, but it hasn't exactly worked out yet. I do plan to repair this though, but for now, it will perform the function for the base of Timothy. And here's the finished base, the finished footplate for the Timothy. Here with the wheels from the Hornby E2 put on it. As you can see here. It's held in by that little tab right there. That screw that held the motor in at one point now holds this footplate onto the model. And this, which was the front, is now the back. So yeah, it looks a little strange, but I think it will work, and hopefully in the film you probably won't notice the problems. Like maybe the fact that this is a little front heavy, maybe I'll have to adjust that a little bit. But still, that's the project so far. Okay, here's what we have so far for Timothy. I have just cut down the center of the main shell here and shrunk it down to proper dimensions. So now we got Timothy here. The boiler here is made out of styrene that I wrapped around a piece of dowel using tape, and then I nuked it in the microwave for 5 minutes, hence on high. And anyways, there we have Timothy so far. Yeah, what do you think? I think, of course, there's not much to look at now, but once I'm finished sanding down all these cut lines, you won't be able to tell that he's had any work done. Okay, here's Timothy just out of the sanding shop. As you can see, the green putty has been applied to all the places where he has had work done and sanded down beautifully, so once paint is applied, you won't be able to tell that there's been any work done. And as you can see, I've included a funnel and a steam dome. The steam dome is made out of shape block, a very interesting little product of plastic that, when applied to hot water, turns as moldable as clay. And so yeah, there's Timothy just before he goes into the paint shop. And while the putty is drying, let's take a look at the thing we've all come to look for. The faces. Okay, there's Timothy's innocent face, or rather the expressionless Thomas face, as many people will remember from the creepypasta, or, well, if they research the creepypasta, because recently it's been removed from the creepypasta website. Yeah, it's really a shame. Anyways, that's Timothy's innocent face. Here is the Timothy evil smirk face, as I'm going to call it. Doesn't really look so evil, but I guess you can tell with a slight difference in the bridge detail. Maybe I'll include some little eyebrow, so you can tell he's got like an evil grin on his face. Well, maybe that's for later. And here, to the left, is the face we've all been waiting for. Scary, isn't it? Very scary, wouldn't you say? This is the little Timothy face that appears just before the crash in the creepypasta. As you can see by some of the detail, or what the camera can see, this thing's speckled. That is actually from the model making process that happened. And I'll actually go into a small little detail about how I made these little faces. I'll bring up Timothy's little evil grin face. Okay, they look similar to me, but I'll tell you that there's a complete difference to this. This one, the little original here, that was made with some polymer clay. Sorry if I'm stuttering. Made it from polymer clay, carefully sculpting every last little detail, and I did the same with the little original Timothy face. But for this little evil face, I did something different. This here is the little mold I made from the original Timothy evil grin face. As you can see, that's the inside. That's the outside. I made it from Micromark RTV silicone model putty. 2 parts, A and B. When these two clays, when mixed together, make a lighter color, as you can see. Once it's finally molded, you push it around the face, or whatever you're molding, and there we go. We got Timothy's little evil face. The eyes actually were not done previously, as you can tell from the original model to the copy, that the eyes are a little smaller. Actually, that's a small error by myself, but you wouldn't know it in the film. Well, you'll probably be wondering in the film, but now you're noticing. Anyways, this evil grin eye, I accidentally, back here at the back of the face, I tried to drill the eyes a little bigger because I noticed they were a little small, and so yeah, got this, so it looks a little strange. But I didn't do it for the evil face, the little evil creepypasta face. So that's why his eyes are small. If you were wondering why, now you know. What the eyes were made out of on all 3 of the faces is a little bit of Model Magic. Model Magic is a light foam clay that I've been using since I was very young to make practically anything, really. Just made the faces, and after cooking and painting, stuffed the clay into the holes, and now we have our evil Timothy face. And here he is, just fresh out of the paint shops, Timothy, number 0 for the Northwestern Railway. As you can see there, with his little face in place. Beautiful hand-painted number 0. That little stoplight on the back is a shrinky-dink, made in the oven. There's the other side. So yeah, here's the hero or villain of Halloween. Ooh. Well, here we are at the Gordon's Hill set. Here's the old coaches. Wow, they're beautiful, ain't they? I just took some of Emily's coaches, painted them in a antique white for the there, and painted their buffers all nicely, and took out that strange third wheel. So now we have a little coach set here for future references. And I've just finished shooting the piece of Edward at the intro. There's the oldest engine on Sodor as we know it, with his beautiful coaches. And here we are at the Tidmouth Marin's sheds, where we have our two engines. This is an unnamed engine at this point, an engine without a face, we don't know yet. And here's Trackmaster Whiff. He's been making cameos, if you haven't noticed. But here's the hero of the piece, Timothy in his berth. And we're gonna pull back and back. And there's the whole set of the sheds. The light is provided by this little blue light right here. I'll make myself look like an idiot here on YouTube. Blue lights shine right here. And the overhead lights are provided by this little flashlight, suspended ideally above the sheds to provide that little light. And of course, I'm pretty sure you're still wondering, how is Timothy puppeteered? In a sense, he is puppeteered by this little thread taped to his underside. And when I want him to come out, I just pull, and out he goes. Simple, yet effective. Well, I've just successfully completed the Timothy wreck scene. Here's the track that Timothy was on, a little bit of bush, and what's this over here? Oh, this is the gorge, the part that you never see. Now, how I did the accident, of course, as you can see, I put this track that extends right beyond the set of buffers. These beautiful set of handcrafted buffers that were able to dance away because they were centered. Something like that. Timothy came in, bing, pushed them away, and then gravity took over first. Oh no! Well, it looks like Timothy crashed there at the bottom. Well, his character's supposed to crash at the end, isn't it? And so, yeah, I just finished the big finale. Or, not really much of a finale if it's the accident, but, yep, Timothy just wrecked. And before I disassemble it, here is the scene of the accident. We've got passengers lying all about. Timothy and his little bushy bouquet. And that's kind of it for the end of the crash. Well, I just finished the shots for Thomas arriving at Knapford Harbor, circa the present. Here we have different scenes. Here's the post train. Got a little generic guard there who's not painted, probably if you were wondering. And we got two dock managers, one right here, one right there. And we got the post train. And this little car is actually going to be part of the BOGO's midnight goods train, even though we don't see it. We gotta see one of the cars. Here's Thomas right here as he just pulls in. And here is the ship, the cargo ship. I actually built this model as a warship for a war video, but since we don't have much water here yet, I haven't been able to sink this ship yet, even as nice as it is. As you can see, there's the front gun, 18mm I suppose. Got a little cargo piece over there, and actually that's where the back deck gun would be. Funnels, pilot house, and other things. And any of you Tugs fans out there will recognize this insignia as belonging to the Z-Stacks. Little Easter egg out there if you can actually find it. But anyways, that's this harbor, and we're gonna get down to doing a couple more scenes, and then this scene will be finished. Okay, I've just finished filming the Timothy approaching Thomas from behind scene. There's the Sodor countryside. Right over there, here's Thomas with part of his post train, at least what matters, since this scene is very short. Right, and here's this little rig that I actually made. Right here. Here, this rig is actually built for the Mavis scene, in which the camera would crawl along the tracks as it explains about Toby's line and the cutting that Mavis eventually gets stuck at. It's made out of styrene and balsa wood with a little wheel there and another bogie that I've salvaged from another project there. And this little threaded nut here holds the camera upside down. So the camera gets closer to the tracks than if it was right side up. How I flip it, I use Windows Movie Maker and edit it around so the image that's upside down is flipped right side up, and then I mirror the image to get it facing the right way. So therefore, it looks like I filmed it all while holding the camera upright. Anyways, that's this beautiful scene in its entirety. Now for a little scene magic that I bet you're probably wondering, how did I do it? Well, here we have Thomas, here we have one of the male coaches, and oh, check this out! A little string that goes to somewhere. Ooh, and it goes right to this big old industrial clamp. This clamp here keeps Thomas stationary. I just twist on the remote, and away he goes. Oh, it's looking like he's moving. And to increase the effect, I actually had this little tree here in my hand. The camera was mounted on this stand here, and I just held it off camera and then just dragged it across camera to give you that effect that there was actual movement where there really wasn't. Well, all the little secrets are coming out in this little video, I can tell you. And even though this is behind the scenes of Zero, the Untold Story of Timothy, here's actually a small behind the scenes for my little video of Percy's ghostly trick. And here's this little enchanted forest of such. There's a little tower, water column, little forest, some trees in the background. And there's my fog box, as I call it, inside some ice blocks. And that rag is dipped over the hole so it condenses the fog. Any of you who've watched Taliokum videos how-to on fog will know that this is how it is done. And actually I've used this scene, a little behind the scenes interesting, is that this forest is actually the same for 2 shots, except that this building here and this water column are not in the shot, but rather a signal is put in there. And it's shot from different angles, so we can get a longer shot. And anyways, that's a little side step from the original behind the scenes. And another little Percy's ghostly trick vlog. Here's Percy, looking very cute in his ghostly garb. And I couldn't exactly paint a white Percy, so I guess this is what I'm going to put up with. So yeah, here's our little enchanted forest of sorts. That's a dead end track that goes nowhere. Here's another dead end track that goes nowhere. First, I'm going to have Percy pull up to Toby, and of course they're going to plot out the little ghostly trick that they're going to pull on Thomas. And actually what you're going to be, if you're wondering, what did I do for Percy's little ghostly uniform here? That's a little tissue. Just ripped it up, ripped a little hole in it, shoved Percy's head through. And I have some blue tape under there to hold this little ghost garb in place. So now, looks exactly like Percy. And now we're going to do a couple more shots. We're going to have Percy come up, Toby. And we're going to do like picture Percy, picture Toby, and then Toby leaving to do the ghostly prank. So yeah, here's a little behind the scenes gem.
And thus we have come to the end of Behind the Scenes of Zero. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope it has inspired you to make your own videos for YouTube. I'm 22 Tesla saying bye for now.